So there are a couple places where I'm going to be using some special insulation. One is inside the doors where the hardware from the latches goes back and forth, so you can't insulate that too well. And the other is the wheel wells, and that it's kind of a curved surface, so it doesn't do too well for insulation with foam. So this is a product, Frost King Duct Insulation. It's a self-adhesive, so we'll see how it works. So it's just a thin foam with a sticky back. It's not going to give you a ton of insulation, but it's better than nothing. So I think it'll do good enough on the doors and the wheel wells to call it close. So the doors are tough, as you can imagine. This is 2-inch polyiso with some aluminum foil. This is 2-inch polyiso with foam. Down here is the same thing, 2-inch polyiso, just jammed in there any way you can. So I try to seal out as much of the door as I can. In here, just a bunch of scraps that kind of goes down here and fills in all the little voids that you can't get the foam into. On just Promasters, the door does move along that track, so you can't just get in there and do it all. And this is that stick-on insulation that I showed you before. It's pretty good. It's kind of like sound deadening stuff, so it's very sticky, but yeah, it's gonna have to do. So there's a side door finish. So this is 2-inch polyiso with aluminum tape. This is 2-inch polyiso with foam. This is the stick-on Frost King, and this is the 2-inch foam with tape. So now I'll put the black panel back on. I'm going to figure out some kind of decorative piece of thin plywood to make for that. That'll be later. And there is that Frost King stuff on the wheel wells. Okay, so it won't win awards for good looks, but it'll do. So I'm trying to finish up this part in here, and this is not the simplest part because it's okay when they have these little struts, because I want to put a piece of insulation going this way, so there will be a little bit of a 45 tilt. But then you come to here and there's nothing. Then they have one here, and they have this mystery foam, which I have no idea what that's for. But so what I did was it's kind of tough to come up with a contour to do this with. So what I did is I made a piece of just plaster, and I put a straight edge between this piece and this piece, and kind of gave me a contour. And then I just ended the piece flat so I can trace that on a piece of, probably use 2 pieces of plywood screwed together to make a piece that I can fit in there, because I got to have something to support. That's like about 4 feet between there and there, so you need some kind of support. And then on this side, same where you have this piece here. I made a piece right here, and then you get into this funkiness of what do you do with that and what do you do with this. So I've got this piece done, so I'll do the same with that. And then when I get that made out of plywood and screwed in, I can run a straight between the two to come up with these two. Insulation never stops. So then I come up with a profile and a couple pieces of plywood, and I can take and just draw that profile on there, grind that off, and then stick it on. So then that gives you a little piece like this that you can then screw into the sheet metal, put some Gorilla Glue on the back, and then call that done. So that's the final product. So now I can put the just insulation in between here, which is going to be 1 inch between here and here, and then come over that with some 1/4 inch plywood. And then over the top of that will become whatever top coat we're going to go with. So repeat it 1, 2, 3 more times. Oh boy. So I think I've got the insulation pretty much done. You can see I filled in all that little angle with a 1 inch. So up there is 2 inches on the underneath, and then there's 1/2 inch on the flat, and this part of it here is 1 inch. This part up here is also 1 inch, but in back of the 1 inch is Thinsulate. So, foam is a great product, but trying to make vans work with foam is really labor intensive. God, I watch people on YouTube putting in rock wool, and it just looks so wonderful. You just throw it in there, throw some Reflectex over it, tape it up, done. So maybe next time I might try that out. But people say that rock wool is more prone to pests. I don't know. It's definitely more prone to mold than this foam is then. So we'll see. But thank God that's done. So insulation is by far the most time-consuming, mind-numbing, just takes forever to do. When you do this kind of foam, it's just super hard. Other jobs in the van, wiring, easy. Solar panels, easy. Solar wiring, easy. Building cabinets, fun. Insulation is just the worst. So if you're going to do this kind of thing, be ready for a long amount of time. And I still think after it's all said and done, foam, the solid board foam, is still the best way to go. It's gonna not attract mold. It's got a great R value, super sound deadener. I mean, it's just a lot of positive things. The only downside, it's a bear to put all those pieces. I mean, vans are just full of little corners and nicks, and so the van's probably about 90% polyiso foam, and about 10% Thinsulate. So there are some places that you just can't put foam. You just have to bite the bullet and get something that's such a tough, high quality as Thinsulate. So that's about it for the installation videos. Moving on to doing the rest of the vinyl flooring down, putting kind of a 1/4 inch plywood around the whole van. I'm a glutton for punishment.